Q Services, Qwashers, eBay and YouTube. What we're looking at here is different types of mechanical fuel pumps for Karcher machines, Mazzoni machines, Frank machines and so on. Now these are mechanical fuel pumps, so they're driven via a drive peg system. So the first thing you need to always do is make sure that on the system itself, if you've got a fault, that the drive peg is okay. The next thing is, another quick test to do is to make sure that the pump itself, whether it's got the filter built into the fuel pump or it's not, make sure that filter is clean. You then run the machine and obviously pull the trigger and get the machine working, and what you would have is, as long as that blow motor is running, you will have fuel going into the system on the inside. You'll then have the return and the fuel will then pump out. It does not matter whether this solenoid is operating or not correctly. It would still pump the fuel in and it would still dump it back to the return on the tank, so sucking in and flowing back out to the tank. Same again on this one, you've got the fuel in, which is on there, and you've got return. Now the other thing is the direction that the fuel pump is running, so you'll see on this pump here that you've got it flowing in the clockwise direction. Then you've got certain pumps that are a different direction, such as this pump here, so that's anti-clockwise. Next thing you have to determine as well is the actual voltage. So some of them might be 24 volt, and the older type will most probably be 220 volt. So that is the most important part as well, to make sure you get the right pump, is the direction, whether the pump is faulty by doing the system, so you know whether it's mechanical fault and the pump is not working correctly, or whether it's an electronic fault and you've no fuel going to the burner, because reason being this solenoid valve is not working correctly. Now a little trick is, if you really need it to, is another way of doing it is by undoing and taking this point out here. And inside there what you'll find is you've got a system that magnifies and also a spring. You can then put that back in place, the fuel pump, and what would simply happen is you would have the burner up to the top burning straight away all the time. You can then check to make sure that the system itself is working correctly. So what we've done is taken this point out, and you'll have continuous fuel going up out to the top of this point here, the outlet, up to the burner where you'd have your fuel pipe that goes up. It then tells you on that side whether there's a fault with the electrics or whether there's a fault with the mechanical side of the fuel pump, because what would happen is the machine would pull the trigger, the machine would start burning, you'd have no control at all. The blow motor's running automatically, it would put fuel up to the top. What we will do is show you a video and explain that as well, and show you how that works and how the system all goes together. So like I say, this one here has got no fuel pump in, so you'd have a fuel filter. This one here's got no fuel filter built in, so what you'd have there is a fuel filter in line in the system. It might be even been in the tank. This one's got it in, so make sure that's nice and clean. And these are different types of pumps, so make sure your direction is correct. Make sure you've got the right size voltage if you're ordering another pump, and which pump it is. Like I say, you'll also see that sometimes the solenoid's at the top and solenoid can be on the side. Thank you very much, Q Services, Qwashers, eBay and YouTube, and what we'll do is show you another video how it all works in the wiring system.